Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. XRP ETFs approach $1 billion as Ripple CEO says, quote, "We are still early," unquote. Okay guys, let's get into it. Okay, so the main reason really why I just want to cover this is just because of where we are in the market, and this is something I've actually been saying to you guys for a while now, and this is just to show you that hey, like, this isn't just the thoughts of a random YouTuber saying this. Like, you've actually got the CEO here telling you we are still very early in this space. And so I just want to kind of give a bit more thoughts in regards to this and flesh this out a little bit, and then I've just got one other post that I want to also cover that just kind of adds a bit more to this. So what's going on here? They're just talking about the success of the XRP ETFs, and yeah, Brad Garlinghouse is just basically saying, look, like, even with this, like, we're really just getting started. You know, we are still really so early in this whole process of the ETFs, just crypto adoption, etc. And so, you know, one of the things that I've been saying to you guys at this stage now is, like, I don't know where we're going with this market, right? I don't know if we're in a bear market or if we're in a bull run. I'm really not sure. But for me, the main thing that I will say is, let's just say we're hypothetically in a bear market, and let's just assume that that's what the case is. If that is the case, that we're in a bear market at this point, I'm not selling at these prices, right? So what I'll have to do is hold. That's it, right? That's all I can do, is just hold, because for me, the thing that I think is, I'm not selling at these prices because it's not at a price that I was expecting it to get to. I expected it to get higher, and it's not high enough for me to want to sell. And I believe that it can go higher. So let's just say if this cycle is over, then yeah, I am going to admit that all bets are off in terms of, you know, how we do going forward, which, you know, from what I've spoken to from a friend who does recharts, he's kind of saying that now. What he's basically saying is, like, the days of where all the whole crypto market would just be popping off and stuff like that, he's saying that, like, those days are done. He's basically saying, like, for the cryptos that are actually got like a purpose and, you know, the utility and all that kind of stuff, those will be okay. But for the ones where they're just random cryptos out here, he's saying those days, you know, those days are done of them just still popping off. So if that is the case, I'll be honest with you, I'd still be happy with that anyway, at the very least. I'd rather that than having just no alt season at all, because I've got 15 to 20 different cryptos, but I've got 5 that I really believe in. So with those 5, I could still make a decent profit off of those 5, and I'm not going to sell them all, but I'd still sell enough percentages to just do a little thing that I'd want to do, get a little goal accomplished of mine, what I want to get accomplished, and that's fine. So I would still be happy with that, but I'm still yet to see how things go, right? We've got to see how this all pans out. So for me, what I'm just trying to say is that even if this is the case where, you know, this bull run is done and we're going into this uncharted territory going forward, my point is that the cryptos that really have, like, utility and have purpose, and the ones that I believe are going to be here long term, the value is going to come at some point. Now, I don't know how long that's going to take. It could be next month. It could be, you know, in the next 2 years. It could be in the next 2 days. Like, I have no idea how long that can take, but I believe it's going to come. And so if I'm not at a price here where I believe is the end for these cryptos, for example, XRP, then I'm not going to sell. I'm going to wait. Now, don't get me wrong. You might hear me vent on this channel about it and say, you know, how did we get this so wrong? How did we lose this bull run? What's going on? And blah, 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 and venting my frustrations along the way. But at the end of the day, like, I'm going to hold, right? That's just what it is, because I have got the patience of having to, you know, wait if I need to. Like, that's just what I will do. I'm not someone who's going to just kind of, you know, throw a shop and then just, you know, sell all my crypto and get out. I'm just not going to do that, because I believe if I've got the long-term mindset, I'll still stand to benefit from this, you know, substantially. And so for me, I'm happy to hold on if I need to. And this is where I say to you guys, like, we are still very early. Like, you know, people are still thinking, well, you know, we've had the ETFs, what's going on? And, you know, everything's looking so positive for crypto now. We've got a pro-crypto US president. Like, you know, why is all this stuff happening? Look, whatever the reason is, to me, what I'm trying to say to you guys is crypto's not going away. I think that's pretty evident at this point. And so for me, it's like, at some point in time, the value is going to reflect these cryptos. Again, I can't give you no time frame because I have no idea how long that's going to take. But I believe if you're in the right cryptos, I think the value is going to come at some point. And so for me, that's where it's like, yeah, I might be frustrated, but if I've got to wait, then that's what I've got to do. I haven't got a choice, right? I'm just going to have to do that until it gets to a value, represented that I believe is, enough for me to want to sell some of that crypto. And so for me, that's what I believe. I believe XRPs are going to be a crypto long term that will, gain good value. I feel like it's going to have longevity here within the crypto space. And so I think that it's going to go higher in price ultimately. And so I will just wait as long as I need to wait. That's just what I will do. And so for me, the thing of what I'm trying to show you guys is that you've even got Brad Garlinghouse here telling you like, yes, we are early. So this isn't me just saying, it's like, I am trying to make you guys understand that. You might think, oh yeah, I've been here for 2 years. I've been here this is my 5th year now, 4th or 5th year. But I understand that like, we haven't even got regulations yet. You know what I mean? Like we're still very early in this space. So there's still many more things to come. And, crypto is going to evolve and stuff over time. So, the way we see even now is probably going to be very different to how we see it in 5 years time, 10 years time, and the way it will be embedded within, people's day-to-day lives and within like, for example, financial infrastructure, that kind of stuff. So, for me, this is where I just want to reiterate this point because this is something I've been trying to tell you guys for a long time. And maybe because you just hear it from me, you might think, oh, he just doesn't know what he's talking about. But no, like, you got to understand when it comes to like technology like this, that's going to like literally change the world for many people and companies. Like this stuff doesn't happen overnight. This stuff takes time. You don't just switch from, one use case to another, like one technology to another, not when it's going to be used and integrated by, banks, institutions, governments, etc. Of course, it's going to be, a slow staggered phase to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and it's a big change. This is technology that's been used for decades originally. It's been replaced. So of course, it's going to be a bit of a slow situation in terms of it all occurring, but we're seeing it happen. Right? Like we're literally watching it happen day by day, piece by piece of news, things going on. So we can see that it is coming. And so this is where, I feel like I have that confidence. So I've got just this one last post here that I want to go and share with you guys to finish off. So this is from Future XRP, and he says, I'm going to be honest. I'm tired of institutions being able to load up on XRP through OTC desks and private liquidity channels. I'm tired of the fact that we have no transparency into how these desks get supplied or how much early access big players get. I'm tired of retail having to buy at whatever the market shows while institutions get slippage-free block trades. I'm tired of feeling like the price is being held down while the real utility is still ahead of us. I'm tired of longs and shorts being liquidated just because the market makers can. I'm tired of waiting for the moment we all know is coming, when XRP finally reflects what it was built to do. But, in brackets, and this is a big but, when you're holding the asset designed to move trillions and eventually quadrillions across a global financial system that is being built in real time, you wake up every day knowing this. The opportunity hasn't passed you by. It's just unfolding slower than we want. But it is unfolding, and it will be worth the wait. Okay, so look, for me, what I just want to say is I'm not saying I'm co-signing every single thing that was said on there, because some stuff I'm not necessarily in full agreement with, but the general premise of this post I do agree with, and that is that yes, you can have these frustrations. Like, for example, the one thing I do agree with, just to make a quick point, I'm not going to point out what I do and don't agree with, but this is one that I do feel like is relevant because this is what I feel like has really, put the markets back so much, is the October 10th liquidation event, which in my opinion, I've seen enough evidence for me personally to believe that that was a manipulated event. There was insider trading going on. So I'm as convinced as I can be that that was a manipulated event. And it does just seem like these market makers are just flushing out leverage traders. Now, to me, I think realistically, you just have to learn not to play with leverage. That's just my personal opinion. Obviously, I'm not telling you guys what to do or what not to do. But at the end of the day, if these guys can just manipulate the market to however they wish, then it isn't really fair for leverage traders anyway. And this is why I would say not to do it, because you're not playing against the fair game, right? You're not playing against, a fair equal footing here. So it's like, even if you was playing and you was standing to win, that they can change that. So this is why I think it's a bad idea to play with leverage anyway. But yeah, it's these kind of things that, yes, I do feel frustrated sometimes when I'm looking at how these things are going with the price action. Like, I've said it to you guys before, like, I'm human. Like, I'm not going to be one of these influencers who, well, I want to say content creators, because I don't like the term influencer. I don't look at myself as an influencer, but I'm not one of these content creators who just want to make out like the sky is always, sunshine and rainbows. Like, I just want to make out what I really feel and just be honest with you guys, because the way I see it is, I am just like you guys. I'm an investor just like you guys. And so, when I see all this stuff, like, I am willing to wait. That's fine. I will do it. But that doesn't necessarily mean I have to be happy about it. And yeah, I might have a bit of a vent here and there. I might have a bit of a moan here and there. And that's just what it is. But I will wait when it's all said and done. That's the thing for me. Like, I'm not going to go on YouTube videos and, write negative comments or anything like that. But I will say, yeah, this sucks. Like, we was literally at a point in October where Bitcoin was at $126,000. Everything was looking like it was ready to go. And then we had this, what I call a manipulated, liquidation event. And I feel like that's really just rocked the whole market at this point. And so it is a thing where you do look at that and you do feel frustrated, because it's like, well, is this fair? Like, would the market have been in a whole new all-time high territory at this point now? Would alt season have begun had that liquidation event not have occurred? We will never know at this point, right? But this is what I will say, and this is what I think when it's all said and done, is that the last part of what this guy said is that at the end of the day, I really do believe the value is going to come. So if that does mean that I have to wait like another 2-3 years, yeah, I'm not going to be happy about it, but I do believe it's going to come. So I am going to wait, because I feel like in the end it's going to be worthwhile. And that's the difference, right? That's where my mentality is different to others, because, a lot of people are just thinking they just want to sell now because they've had enough, they've had fatigue. And for the leverage traders, I kind of get it with them, because, if you've watched like a manipulated event happen, why would you want to get back into the crypto market? You're going to be thinking, well, what's the point if they can just do this to me? Now, my thing would be just don't play with leverage, but this can be enough to put people off. Like, I've seen the stories about that whole liquidation event, and I've heard that people lost like millions. There's actually people who no longer exist here because of that liquidation event. So, if that was what it seemed to be, which to me, I've seen enough evidence to believe that that was insider trading and manipulated. Like, imagine how you would feel, like, when you know that that wasn't even something that it was your error, it was something that was manipulated. So yeah, I can understand how devastating that could be if you've lost huge money and you was actually making the right bet, but then the market makers came in and manipulated the market so that you got flushed out. It's not really fair, is it? And so yeah, for me, I just look at this as, we'll see where things go, but at the end of the day, long term, I don't think you can't hold these cryptos down. The ones that are going to have a purpose, which I believe XRP is one of them, their value is going to come because they're going to be utilized. So I just look at it as, I'm willing to take that chance and wait it out. I'm willing to do that because I do believe the value is going to come at some point. And so this is why I just say we are still very early. Like, we're not at the point yet where all these cryptos are, the ones that are here to stay, are evident, and you can see them being fully utilized, but we're not at that point yet. So, I stay, comforted in that thought, and I'm willing to just wait it out to see what the long-term plan is. So, I thought I'd share this as it felt very relevant, and I hope this has helped just give you a bit more of my perspective on where I think we're going long-term. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell. Take care.